My husband told me this the night before he passed away. We'd been married for 9 years. He was 34, I was 32. 3 weeks earlier, he'd been driving home from work when a drunk driver ran a red light and hit him head-on. The impact crushed his chest and damaged multiple organs. The first week in the ICU, the doctors kept saying he was a fighter. Week 2, they started using words like complications and prepare yourself. By week 3, they told me his organs were shutting down and there was nothing more they could do. I'd been sleeping in that hospital chair for 21 days straight. My sister brought me changes of clothes. My mom brought food I couldn't eat. Everyone kept telling me to go home and rest, but I refused to leave his side. That last night started like all the others. I climbed into the narrow hospital bed next to him around 10 p.m., careful not to disturb any of the tubes. We were pretending to watch some cooking competition show on the TV mounted to the wall, neither of us actually paying attention. His breathing had gotten worse throughout the day, shallow and raspy. The machines were beeping slower, the numbers on the monitors dropping. I knew what it meant, but I wasn't ready to accept it. Around 2 a.m., he squeezed my hand. Not the weak squeeze I'd gotten used to, but an actual squeeze, strong enough that I sat up and looked at him. "I need to tell you something," he whispered. "Something important. Before I can't." My chest tightened. I thought this was it. The final goodbye. The I love you speech. Maybe some last wishes about the funeral, or what to do with his guitars. "What is it?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He took a shaky breath and said, "Remember my bachelor party 9 years ago?" I nodded. Of course I remembered. He and his 6 groomsmen had flown to Vegas for a weekend. They'd come back with sunburns and stories about losing money at blackjack, standard guy trip stuff. "We didn't go to Vegas," he said. I blinked. "What?" "We never went to Vegas. We lied to everyone." My mind was racing. Was he about to confess to cheating? To some secret that would destroy everything good I thought we had? My hands started shaking. He must have seen the panic on my face because he smiled this tiny, weak smile and said, "We went to Disneyland." I sat there in silence, processing what he just said. All 6 of us. We spent 3 days at Disneyland. We rode Space Mountain 8 times. We ate churros for breakfast. We bought matching Mickey ears that we immediately threw away in the airport trash can before flying home. We watched the fireworks show and one of my groomsmen cried. I started laughing. I couldn't help it. Then the laughing turned into crying, then back to laughing. I was making these horrible snorting sounds and I couldn't stop. "One of them cried?" I managed to ask. "During the Pixar parade, he said it reminded him of taking his daughter when she was little." He was smiling now, really smiling, for the first time in weeks. "We made him swear never to tell anyone." "Why Disneyland?" I asked. "Why lie about Vegas?" He shook his head slightly. "Because we were 25-year-old guys who thought we had to do the Vegas thing. Strippers and gambling and all that. But when we got to the airport, nobody actually wanted to go. So one of the guys said, 'What if we just went to Disneyland instead?' And we all immediately agreed. 'So you spent your bachelor party riding Pirates of the Caribbean?' 11 times, he said. "We kept getting back in line, and we ate those turkey legs, and we took pictures with Goofy. It was the best weekend of my life before marrying you." I was holding both his hands now, laughing and crying at the same time. "Why are you telling me this now?" He looked at me with those brown eyes I'd fallen in love with a decade ago. "Because I couldn't leave without you knowing the truth. Everyone thinks I'm this cool guy, but I'm not. I'm just a 34-year-old man who chose Mickey Mouse over strippers, who cried during the Haunted Mansion, who bought a Dole Whip at 9 a.m. and called it breakfast. You're telling me you've kept this secret for 9 years? All 6 of us did. We had a pact. But I'm dying, so I figure the pact is void." That was the last real conversation we had. We stayed up for another hour talking about nothing and everything. He fell asleep around 4 a.m. I stayed awake, watching his chest rise and fall, counting each breath. He died at 6:14 a.m. The funeral was packed. All 6 of his groomsmen were there. During the reception, I pulled them aside and told them I knew about Disneyland. Their faces went white until I smiled and said it was okay. The one who'd cried at the parade started tearing up again. "He told you?" "He told me," I said. Now when people ask me what kind of man my husband was, I tell them he was exactly who he pretended not to be. He was the guy who thought he needed to be tough but cried at parades, who lied about Vegas because he was embarrassed to admit he just wanted to be a kid again for one weekend, and I loved him even more for it.